I just look over there. Desmond and I are out on the east side doing stone repair and a caulk line repair. Seemed to me yesterday Al said one stone was loose on their little step out the back house. I got there and the whole top layer was loose and looked like the step had settled. So now I am here at Lowe's in the hopefully you saw that. I'm in the masonry aisle getting hopefully that came out because like we've seen before, I don't know how to switch my phone. But anyway, I need a lot of grout, and the green and white pro finish blended masonry mix is a really good mix for filling in stonework, you know, the joints between the stones in masonry work. So it's 80 pounds. I'm going to pick up the bag and get it and bring it back to the job site so that I can grout around all these stones. You can tell it's my earlier work because there's some really major wide grout lines. I'll show you when we get back. So that's it. I'm at Lowe's. I'm picking up mortar mix to fix this repair, finish this repair. And I left Desmond there caulking. Okay, again, happy birthday, Sandy. I'm back from Lowe's, and right now I'm showing you Desmond caulking. Wave to Sandy.
Happy birthday.
There you go. And then in Lowe's, when I was explaining my mortar, this is the step. And as you can see between the stones, there's some pretty significant grout joints. Usually when I do a step like this, it's after I've done the pool, so you don't have, I don't know, it's just a really thin stone, and we glued them onto the concrete base. So, well, that's what I'm doing today. That's my legendary job, and Desmond's doing a fine job on the coping. Happy birthday, Sandy. Okay, so here's my bucket of dried mud. And if I can do this one-handed, I'll just show you. I'm squeezing some water in from the sponge, just the dirty water that I had from cleaning up the stones. So I'll throw, sometimes I use a sponge, sometimes I actually pour with a bucket, depending on how much water. And then I just go to it. Someone might be asking why I'm not using a wheelbarrow, just because my job isn't so big, and sometimes grouting takes longer so that it dries too much. A full bag dries too much in a wheelbarrow before you get to it all. So I just like my little buckets hand mixed for smaller repairs, and even sometimes when I'm doing coping around a pool. So you want to really get down in there. You can see some dry stuff, so I'm going to pour a little bit more water in. You just got, like I say, you got to be careful to, if you pour too much water in, if you still got some in the bag, then you just add more dry. When you've got to be careful is when you have the rest of the bag in the bucket and you don't want to make it a liquid soup. That's when you got to take your time putting the water in, because if you get it too wet, it just, oops, I'm sorry, this video's going all over the place. Hope you can fix it, Sandy, or if you even don't want to use it, that's fine too. So yeah, it's getting to the point where I've got to use two hands So I'm gonna say goodbye for now again. Okay, I'm back again. This is just to show you what my mortar mix looks like, all mixed from the bag. All I do is I pour some in a bucket, and then I just keep adding water till it gets the consistency that I like. As you can see, I wear gloves too, because the chemicals in the product, if kept on skin too long, burn. There's lye. So always wear some type of glove. We always just get ours from the store. We like latex. I like latex. But yeah, this is my mix. It's got a nice consistency to it. It squeezes. You don't want it too wet, because then it won't, it'll just settle. This will be a nice packing material, because that's all I'm going to do is I'm going to pack it in the lines. And so here we go. If I can do it one-handed for a minute, I will show you. See, here's my lines. And I got, like I said, I got some major grout ones. But I just take my grout, and if I got it right, I just pack it in there until I come to the height of the stone. I like to sculpt, so I like to do everything by hand. I just like the feel of, versus, bricklayers have all those tools and they're scraping and they're throwing it on their pointer trowel and then pressing the brick in it. I like to be just hands-on. It's a nice, simple job. Doesn't take too much thought. You can daydream around it. Or as my niece Katie does, she listens to a book on tape. But yeah, you just fill it in, kind of rub it over the stone. You got that all filled in. Desmond, can you do me a favor? Actually, I got it. Doggone it. I thought I had a sponge, but I don't have a sponge. I'm going to send Desmond to the car. Thank you, Desmond. To get a sponge so that I can clean off. Then you come back and you clean off the stone around the grout line. So there's that, and I'll be back. And there is my finished blue stone step, grouted and washed, and then I take a brush to finish it off to the grout lines and just kind of give it a little bit of texture to it, but just to kind of clean the edges. And you may notice there's a white haze. That's from the sponge pulling some of the concrete mortar. You can't get, it's like just a haze. A good wash once the mortar's done drying will get rid of that. A first good rain. Otherwise you just keep hitting the grout lines and it pulls the concrete onto the stones. So that was my legendary day today.